Okay, so let me pull up a packet for us. So yeah, roll call. We're gonna start with Aleppo,
Present.
Avalon, Bell Acres, Bellevue, Ben Avon,
Here.
Edgeworth,
Here.
Emsworth,
Here.
Glen Osborne, Glenfield, Hayesville,
Here.
Kilbuck,
Here.
Leet,
Here.
Leetsdale, Sewickley,
Here.
Sewickley Heights. That's quorum.
Okay, does it look like we have anyone from the public present?
We have a special guest, Anna Richard, our intern, but other than that, no one else from the public.
Okay, so I'm assuming no public comment. So let's move forward to the omnibus approval. I'll take a motion for the approval of the May 18th, 2022 meeting minutes, May financial reports, unpaid bills list, and payroll summary.
John Seb here. I'll move to approve the omnibus.
All good. Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Actually, I'm sorry, I have to abstain because I wasn't at the last meeting. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Could we get the highlights of the reports, maybe financial?
Sure thing.
I guess what's important.
Last month we sent out our Act 101 recycling performance grants to all of our member municipalities. So you might have noticed the expenses were a little higher than the income last month. $7,000 was sent out for that fund. The budget's tracking exactly where we thought it would, with the exception of RAD, which came in, way higher than expected. It's just hard to guess where that was going to fall during budget season last year. But that, it's a good thing. Everything is tracking really good. The fund balance for all of our accounts is right where it should be. We're actually expecting 2 payments from Allegheny County Economic Development, one for $7,500 and one for a little over $11,000 for CDBG programming. That'll go right to the general fund as well. So again, really good financial shape right now. So yeah, everything's tracking exactly where we thought it would.
Okay, any questions?
Nope.
All right, our next item on the agenda is the president's report, which we'll skip tonight since President Carrier is not here. And so our next item would be the executive director's report.
Yep. So a couple things I'll highlight just specifically. So last month, the board approved our second class recycling location in Avalon Borough. So on Saturday, the 28th of May, we opened it up. I had a little photo opportunity with the staff from Avalon, and looks like we're admitting one more person here. The staff from Avalon and Michael Brothers Hauling. So far so good. Lorraine and Leanne have been great to work with, just as well as Julie and Donna have for our Sewickley site. The next thing up is, we just need to get these resolutions to each council. So the managers received that, as well as each QBCOG delegate. So we're hoping in the next month or two, we can get these in front of each respective municipality for approval and get everyone on board. So I think Julie mentioned Sewickley. We had the opportunity to pass theirs last night. I think a lot of these meetings are, coming up. So so far so good. I haven't received any pushback from anyone or any negative comments. So it's just going to be a matter of reminding everyone and keeping tabs and making sure that they have all the information they need to consider this. So really excited about that. Another thing that came today, we had a cybersecurity training. It was hosted by the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs. It was about a 45-minute training, really in-depth discussion about cybersecurity, insurance options that might be out there, and the responsibilities of municipalities and individual employees to make sure that their municipalities are doing the right thing and making sure that they're emails and login credentials are safe and not going to be easy prey for those that might want to hack into municipal funds. So it was a really good training. I'm going to be sending out the recording of that training to the group, delegates and managers once we get that from PSAB. So keep an eye out from that, and I'll also send out the slides with that recording as well. The other thing I wanted to highlight, so on July 23rd, the Pennsylvania Resources Council is going to be back at the Quaker Valley High School for a hard to recycle event. So last year they had over 300 cars from 10 o'clock until 3 o'clock, I think it was, drop off TVs and computers and cell phones and tires, all that good stuff. So it was so well attended, they came back around, which is great. The event doesn't cost us anything other than our time and resources to promote it, right? The minute that we stop getting as many participants as we have in the past, that's when they're going to start shifting their locations and sites elsewhere. So far, we've been a really good participant for them. I want to make sure that's the case. So I'll send out some flyers that we got from PRC. If you guys can promote that on your Facebook pages, on your websites, and your municipal bulletin boards, all hands on deck to make sure that this is another well-attended event. The big thing about it is it's register required. So, before COVID, people can just show up with their TVs or whatever they're trying to get rid of, and they would just go in line. Now with this, to avoid big backups and to make sure everyone's time is as efficiently used as possible, they're requiring people to register what they're recycling at a certain time. So that's really the key, is just promoting that change. That was the same thing last year. So again, just if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me or PRC and make sure everyone's aware that this is going to be in town in July. Last thing, I'll let Anna talk about it shortly here, is we're just trying to reboot our website, making sure that it's is up to date and has information that is meaningful for you guys, right? So one of the big things that we've added is a little section of current events that might be going on in your town. So if there's anything that you think might be interesting to promote, a fall festival or a 4th of July parade, wherever the case might be, reach out to me with an email. We'll make sure that that's highlighted on the website. So that's all I had for the report.
Okay, thanks, Patrick. Does anyone have any questions for Patrick about his report? Any comments?
Yeah, Patrick, this is John Stefanski. I attended that webinar today in cybersecurity. It was excellent, I have to say. I got a lot out of it.
Great. I'm glad it was useful. I'll definitely keep my eye on any future opportunities in that field, because I think it's going to be only more important that we have awareness when it comes to cybersecurity. So when opportunities come out, make sure you guys know about it.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other comments? Okay, let's move on to our next item on our agenda here for new business. Is an introduction of Anna Richard.
Yeah, this is definitely the most exciting part of the meeting tonight for you guys. So Anna has been working with us for about 3 weeks now. She came from Washington and Jefferson College through the Local Government Academy's Municipal Intern Program. So really excited to have her on board for another 9 or 10 weeks or so. Like I said, she's just getting started with us, but I wanted to make sure she had an opportunity to introduce herself and talk a little bit about the project.
Hello, I'm Anna, and as Patrick said, I'm interning this summer with him, and I go to Washington Jefferson. This is going to be my senior year, and I'm majoring in political science and economics and minoring in public policy. And basically what I'm going to be working on this summer with Patrick and the other COGs and the members of our COG deals with making a survey for each of the COGs and then the members of ours to essentially collect data on how each COG functions, what techniques they use, basically what's working for them, what's not working for them, what their obstacles are, if they have any solutions to these obstacles, and formulate that into a way that different COGs and ourselves can implement what's working for them, or, how best we can, change the operations, and if we can utilize different strategies to best assist us and then the members of our COGs. So that's what I'm going to be working on this summer, and I'm excited to keep up the next, 9 to 10 weeks, as Patrick said, and get to know everyone a little bit better.
Yeah, and one of the big things Ann and I are trying to do is just come out and do a site visit. We had a chance to visit Emsworth Borough last week, and I think we have a visit for Edgeworth Borough on Monday next week. So I'll be reaching out to all the staff and delegates in the coming weeks just to get something set up, and hopefully we can visit, if not everybody, the majority of our towns, by the time this internship wraps up. Anybody have any questions for Anna or anything on the program?
Just a quick question. I mean, this is really interesting. Welcome. We're really, really happy to have you join the COG for the summer. Do you intend to give us like a short report monthly, or how would you like to proceed with the board? I know you'll be talking to people, but if there's anything we can do to help, just let us know.
Thank you. Yeah, I also on my end, I intend to kind of, once the survey's done, make a finalized, report of what the findings of this survey was. So, hopefully that can be made available to you guys, and then, obviously to the other COGs too. So everyone is assisting each other. But thank you.
Welcome. Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, well, welcome, Anna.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, our next item under old business is a glass recycling update.
Yeah, this just sort of goes full circle back to the launch of our second site. So I don't want to dwell too much on the topic again, but again, if anyone has any questions about that resolution or the structure of the price sharing agreement, please reach out. I'd be happy to visit or come to a council meeting and answer any questions. So however you guys want to go about it, or however I can be of use, please let me know, and I'll go ahead and do whatever I can for you.
Okay, any questions about glass recycling? All right, moving on.
Oh,
Oh,
Sabrina.
here we go from Bellevue, yeah.
So I think Sabrina had something in the chat. She said Bellevue will be voting on the resolution this month. Great.
Okay, great, yeah. And as Patrick already said, Swiftly voted on it last night and passed it, so. All right. Item number 10, Route 65 update.
Yeah, so we'll be getting together for our second meeting on June 29th. Sewickley Borough has been kind enough to host this meeting. It'll be our first in-person meeting with the group. So there's, I think, 11 members of the committee. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone in person, getting together and sort of just figuring out what we want to do and how we want to go about it for these next steps of the survey. And again, anyone that has interest with the Route 65 corridor and what's gone on in the past, we have a section on the webpage, including the report, which was published in January of this year. Really, we're just, as a group, trying to take that study and bring it to the next level, taking some of those recommendations and findings and working together to get to the promised land of what those recommendations are. So anyone that has interest in this, please reach out. We can make sure you have that report. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us and we'll do what we can to make sure you have the answers if anyone has any questions.
Okay, thanks, Patrick. Our next item is a CDBG status report.
Yeah, so a lot of these projects are wrapping up. And if they're not wrapping up, they're just getting started. So Leet Township has a continuation of some ADA sidewalks that they're working on in the Fair Oaks neighborhood. So I believe they're going to be starting on June 20th. So next week, they're going to start that project. Bellevue has a couple projects that are just about to start, including a Bain Park retaining wall in one of their community parks. They're going to be working on repairing that, as well as a couple blight remediation projects that just got the notice to proceed through the county. So all good news on that front. And the one thing I do want to note, usually in the May timeframe, we get the award letters from Allegheny County Economic Development, letting us know which the next cycle projects will be. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they haven't gotten those letters to us. So while I have a pretty good idea of what projects are going to be funded and what level, I can't tell with 100% certainty. So the minute we get those letters from the county, I'll certainly reach out to those municipalities that get the award, and we'll start the discussion on those projects. But right now, it's sort of just a gray area as far as that timeline.
Okay, any questions, anybody? Okay, no questions. Let's move on to concerns by delegates, and I'll just go through the people who are here tonight. So first is Aleppo.
Yeah, we had a long discussion on our last meeting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We had a long discussion on the difficulty where River Road or Redgate Road is heading for us is 65, and the train tracks that are running parallel there. They about 7 or 8 days later, someone got to PennDOT because they have had stripes painted across the road. They've built a stronger barrier on the funny triangle that where Beaver Street peels off, and you have a 5-way intersection. So someone brought some to their attention. I have no idea who it was, but I think that there's still the issue of the delayed trains acting as a very severe barrier there. And we'll see how we can try to move the trains or get I think bring the legal issues to the attention of the railroad's legal department and see how they react to it.
Yeah, Art, this is definitely something I think Barbara's trying to bring the attention to the group as well. A couple incidences where the trains didn't move, right, for a few hours. And if there was an emergency, that'd be a really, really dangerous situation.
And it's only going to get worse whenever the large plant down the river begins to go into full production. The tracks, at least what I've seen, have been upgraded in terms of the metallurgy of the rails because of the weight characteristics. So there's an awful lot of relatively profound issues that are waiting in the wings for us, so to speak.
Art, do you know if it's someone from your council or your municipality that's planning on reaching out to that legal team at the railroad?
If it's anyone, it's going to be me. I had a chat with Gwen about it a couple of weeks ago, and she and I have reached the idea that perhaps getting in touch with the president of the COG and having a discussion as to what is best and how the process is to get to the legal department within the railroad. I had an experience somewhat similar to this when I lived in Boston, and they had fought or had discussions or studies and so on and so forth with the operating section of the railroad to no avail. And the minute that we went to quietly to the principal council of the city where that was occurring in just outside of Boston, and immediately the operating people got some kind of a notice from the legal people that ain't going to be doing that no more. And it was just like that, click the finger. I see no reason why we shouldn't be able to do something similar to that, as long as we don't get. The one thing that I think would be something we don't want to do is bring anybody's lawyers on our side into the discussion. that will hit the brakes for sure. So I think if we have one of us talk to the legal department on a one-on-one basis, we have a chance of finding out what their issues are and see what kind of reaction we get. If anyone has any comments or objections to my thought process, let me know.
So
Hey.
Art, does it start with a letter, or what do you think is the next step here, like to be concrete about
We
how to
we
move
picked up
forward?
we picked up the phone and put in a personal call to the principal lawyer in the department in Boston, and they were saying he really had no comprehension as to the situation, and which had been going on for years, and there was the level of severity in Boston was not as severe as what I perceive it is here, where 65 and Redgate cross. If one of those trains comes up and parks, they can be there for 3-4 hours, maybe longer. They're waiting for the signal just a quarter of a mile down the road to tell them to proceed, and they will not do anything until those signals are lit. So I don't believe going to the operations people would be result in anything more than silence.
Yeah,
So I
and
think-
I'll add on behalf of Hayesville, we've already tried that multiple times. I mean, we've sent them letters detailing the issues with blocking those tracks, that it's a single entry and exit point, et cetera, et cetera. And we've got no response so far. So we would love to be part of that phone call and that conversation. We fully support that.
Can I make a suggestion to the board that we form a committee very quickly, and the committee should include whoever wants to be in the to address this issue, and then if we need to have the full support of the board, obviously we can go for a vote and letters and everything that we need to help you.
Yeah, one
So
thing one issue that occurred in Boston, we did the same thing, tried to bring everybody in and get everybody's ideas, and it ended up that the result was the best way was a private phone call to the principal legal officer of the railroad, because unions get involved. Now they go into work procedures. It is a very, very complicated thing, but it's amazing what happens whenever a legal officer sees the ramifications of some accident happening on their tracks.
Right.
So
I mean, again, I don't think the committee would that's what you guys could decide to do. I mean, if that's, you put your heads together and say, yeah, this is what we're going to do first, call, second, do this and that. I think that could be the
it's
options.
this is probably repeated 100 times across the United States. It's not unusual. Those tracks were laid down 150 years ago. The working process and procedures and the unionization of it probably has not changed in 50 years. So you're talking to Methuselah, and he's really, really old. So we'll see how it works out. I mean, the only thing we can have, the worst result is they say no. Okay, then we'll say, all right, fine, we'll take another tack.
Just so I'm on the same page too, Art. So you said that you and Gwen have reached out and are waiting for a phone call with this legal representation, or no, you have not?
Thing has happened because nothing has happened.
Okay.
No, I was just bringing our operating officer into the thought process that I had in my mind and the experiences I had. And I haven't done anything, and nor would she do anything until I address this group. And we won't do anything until we have feedback from the group to go forward. It's a very sensitive issue, as I'm sure you can understand. Not with us so much sensitive, is that we don't want the railroad to get the notion that we're coming. Like to keep that quiet as possible.
Hmm.
The unions won't like this. Trust me, the unions will not like this. They have to change their operating procedures. They go with sugar now. But that's the way I see, to see what happens.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be having a follow-up call with Barbara, since she wasn't able to make it tonight. So I'll let her know, Art, about this concern. And maybe you could speak with her to get her thoughts about forming a committee to decide. And maybe it's just comprised of you and Amy and Patrick and Barbara, but where you could just discuss what you think, collectively. Maybe you can come to a better decision by discussing it, the four of you. And then it doesn't have to be official action taken by the COG if that's not what you want, but it could still just be like a meeting of the minds to decide how to proceed.
Well, I've been putting it off until this meeting to talk to Barbara, okay, because I was thinking that she'll be online and she'll hear it, but since
Yeah.
since that didn't happen, your phone call with her is an appropriate thing, and bring me into the picture anyway, and when you want.
Okay. And if you, I don't know if you have her contact information, but maybe Patrick, could you send him her cell phone number? You could reach out to her yourself too, if you want, Art, but I'll definitely tell her tomorrow.
Right, and Pat, do you have my cell phone number?
I do. Mhm.
Be free, feel free.
I'll send in a little email between everybody and see if we can get it all on the same page for maybe a meeting Monday or Tuesday next week.
If we could accomplish this, this would be a magnificent thing to happen for the whole core valley, truly. Because if we're having this issue here, I'm sure that if you go up and down that rail, they're in the same situation.
No, I think Amy can attest. It's definitely something that needs to trust.
Absolutely.
Okay, end my speech.
Does anyone else have any other thoughts on this before we move on to the next neighborhood? Okay. All right, next up is Bellevue. Any concerns, Bellevue?
None that I can think of at this time, but is it okay if I were to think of something that I can email Patrick?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben Avon,
No, I don't think we have anything at this time.
okay. Edgeworth,
Nope, all's well in Edgeworth. Thank you.
all right. Emsworth,
All's well in Emsworth too. Thank you.
good. Hayesville,
Yeah, we actually don't have anything for tonight either, so it's a good
Okay.
sign.
Killbuck,
Oh, we're good, Kilbuck.
and for Swickley, I don't have anything. And Swickley Heights.
Nothing for me today.
Okay. Well, that concludes our agenda. So I guess I just take a motion to adjourn. Is that right, Patrick?
Yep, that's it.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second Kilbuck.
All
Great.
right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
All
Thank you
right.
very much, everybody. We'll be back in person as normal next month. Thank you for this and thank you for attending.
Great.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Patrick.
And
Enjoy
stay
your
cool out
giveaway,
there.
Patrick.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.